Welcome to Jackdaw Journalism. Today I shall be talking about Dragon Age 4, because why the heck not? And I know Mass Effect Andromeda is coming out next year, and we've probably got another 2 to 6 years to wait for Dragon Age 4, but who cares? So I want to be giving my wish list for Dragon Age 4. First of all, I just want to share that I will probably be spoiling all of Dragon Age Inquisition and its DLC. So if you haven't played them, you should probably hop along and play them. That has been my spoiler alert, and first of all, let's discuss what we should be expecting from Dragon Age 4. So far, we've been told that Dragon Age 4, well, we can speculate that Dragon Age 4 will take place in Northern Thedas due to the Trespasser DLC, pointing towards Tevinter Imperium. That confirms that Dorian will definitely be in Dragon Age 4. We also know that Solas will be our antagonist as he ventures to try and destroy the Veil, which will crumble Thedas as we know it. Without further ado, let's get started on my wishlist for Dragon Age 4. So first up, my first requirement, this is in no order whatsoever, this is random. My first wish for Dragon Age 4 is that we will be able to meet our Grey Warden. See, I had the privilege of my Grey Warden being a human noble, therefore he became the king of Thedas, or the prince consort, and he married Honora. I would like to meet my Grey Warden again and his love interest. I actually romanced Liliana, and I also had the child of Morrigan, and I also married Honora. So that's going to be awkward, but funny, and I would like to see the Grey Warden take part in Dragon Age 4. We know so far, well, from Dragon Age Inquisition, that the Grey Warden, or the hero Ferelden, is actually looking for a cure for the calling. So why can't we have a quest to do with that? I mean, Mass Effect 3, we found the genophage cure for the Krogans, so it seems logical for BioWare to be like, hey, why don't you go find a cure of the calling? I mean, we should probably meet Grand Enchantress Fiona again, well, if she didn't die, and because she has actually cured the calling herself. So I think a quest involving the Grey Warden, maybe Fiona and a few other pals, would be awesome just to meet the Grey Warden for once. My next wish is more towns and cities. In Inquisition, well, you had Orlais, which had a few markets that would obviously update after every mission you did, and then you had Redcliffe and a few small little settlements that would maybe give you a bit of, like Crestwood and stuff, and maybe the keeps where you could buy some stuff. We didn't have any towns or cities to explore other than Orlais and Redcliffe, and being into Winter, we should have some city exploration or town exploration, just adding to, like, obviously in Dragon Age 2 we had all of Kirkwall, we had the alleys, and we had just delving into that, and in Origins we had going to Denerim, and we had other towns during that. Just a full-on city to explore would just be awesome for the next game. And it's in Tevinter as well, the capital of, in the middle of everything. We should expect some sort of city and town exploration. Come on, BioWare. So my next wish is somewhat of askew, because I would like to see Dragon Age 4 being open world, and I know so far it's partially open world, it is open world, but I want it to be fully open world, going from our keep or a camp or wherever we'll have a main hub, and literally getting on a horse and just riding into Tevinter or into Northern Thedas would just be so cool. And I know the map is massive and all that, but I mean, look at Skyrim, look at The Witcher. Come on, this is next gen, people. We should expect something like that, and I would love to see Dragon Age 4 open world. That would be amazing. Okay, next one is one that most PC players can probably already have, and that's hair physics. I mean, this is mainly for females characters, obviously, but hair physics. Why can't we have hair physics? The Frostbite is a min engine for physics and graphics, so why the hell can we not have hair physics? Come on, BioWare, come on, hair physics, please. So in Inquisition, where was my little Barney, the little Mabari hound? I mean, he was in Origins as a companion, he was in 2 as a summon, and in Inquisition, he obviously just went back to the kennel, didn't he? Where was my Mabari? Come on, BioWare, give us our Mabari back. That is so not fair. Also, along with pets, I want Schmooples 3.0 I want a pet nug that, like in Life is Strange, where if you don't feed your plant dies, and if you feed your plant, it becomes a good plant. I want that system to play in Dragon Age 4. I want my little pet nug to be waiting for me at my little home, and then I feed it, and then it goes bigger, and if I don't feed it, it starves to death. And then Liliana, or whoever likes nugs in the Dragon Age new companions roster, will have a go at me, and I will lose approval. Why can't I have a pet nug? Moving on from nugs, non-unisex hairstyles. This was a big problem in Inquisition. Why have a roster of hairstyles and then have them unisex so you can just choose them, one for your male and one for your female? It just seemed lazy to me. Why can't we have individual hairstyles like how Fallout 4 did it, even though the female hairstyles were lacking in Fallout 4? Why can't we have more variation within hairstyles for both genders? Come on, it makes sense. Also, having some trending hairstyles like spiky male hair or long wavy female hair, something like that, because hairstyles are really lackluster in RPGs and character creations these days. Obviously, MMOs they're a lot more advanced, but in single player adventures, we don't really have long hairs or anything like that, and we really want them because we just want to make a really cool, unique character. So, my next wish is more choice within the base game ending. If you played Inquisition and you were like, oh, that was a good ending, you're probably wrong unless you played the Trespasser DLC. Because obviously the ending was good with Morrigan talking over the ending, and obviously we saw the after-end credit scene. But dealing with Corypheus was just, no. Why can't we have a massive battle like in Origins where we would have to build our forces and rally them up and then having to assault Corypheus? Instead, he literally just spawned outside Skyhold and went, hey, I'm here, come and get me. Why can't we have more choice within the ending, being able to sacrifice the Inquisitor, being able to, I don't know, do different things, having companions being able to die by the dragon, or just more choice within that ending? If we didn't get a certain companion being our friend, why can't the dragon come down and swoop them up and just munch them into pieces? Why can't it just be, why was it just so, like, not, just so linear? It just wouldn't let us advance and get us what we want. Well, not what we want, because we don't want our companions to die, but we want more choice within the ending. Okay, so the next one is learning more about the Titans. The Titans were this race that were introduced within the Descent DLC. They were like some sort of weird rock people, gods, vessels that were under the ground, and the dwarves sort of believed in them, or something. They were following the stone, and it turned out the stone is like the Titans or something like that. But we saw a Titan give lyrium infested into a dwarf, and the dwarf was given magic. We need to learn more about the Titans as well, because apparently the Titans are going to be some sort of race that will be able to destroy the world, along with Solas and his magic raving elves. That's two potential threats for Dragon Age 4. So we do need to learn more about the Titans, or have something on them, because we only know so far that they can give dwarves magic, which is pretty cool anyway, but still. So this one seems like a BioWare thing to do, having an elven god companion. We've seen this in Mass Effect 3 where they gave us Javik the Prothean against the Reapers. So I can see them giving us an elven god companion. Like, obviously we can't have Mafal because, well, she's dead. But I could see us giving us someone else like Anuvra or whatever they're called. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But we could, I think that will be happening. We will get an elven god companion who will have awoken from the slumber, or will somehow get to us by maybe Corypheus Solas potentially ripping open the veil and one of them coming through. I have no idea, but I can potentially see us definitely getting an elven god companion. Right, the next one, I don't care what Solas or what anyone else is, I want a griffin. I want a griffin that I can ride along friggin' Tevinter Imperium. Why would they give us horses in Inquisition if they were not to give us griffins in Dragon Age 4? There's the logic for you. Also, there's been foreshadowing of it within the recent Dragon Age book about Grey Wardens and the past riding on griffins, and then there's obviously Solas telling us it's extinct. But don't believe Solas' lies. Don't believe his lies. We will get a griffin. We will get a griffin. So new and vast places as well, it would be a good one. Northern Thedas is obviously rich with new environments, but in Inquisition we did have awesome environments. We also had duplicates of the same sort of desert. There's 3 locations with a desert in it. We want more than just a desert. The Hissing Wastes was completely empty. You found a few ruins of dwarven knowledge, and then you would literally be done with it. We want more locations instead of just 3 deserts. We had 3 deserts in Inquisition. 3 deserts. We want more. So some people don't like this idea, but I want some favourable characters to return, like Sten. I mean, in Inquisition, we had a few companions. Obviously, we had a trio of Morrigan, Liliana and Alistair come back. But other than that, we had what? Connor, Grand Enchantress Fiona, which we only heard of. We've only had a few characters that we've really heard of, whereas obviously in previous games we've had a roster of characters. And I'd just like to see them more of them introduced. Within the comics, Sten is said to be an Arishok. Wouldn't it be just so cool to see Sten developed as an Arishok again? What about Isabella? Obviously we got over the multiplayer, but I mean, just more of the favourable characters. I know people want Zevron and Fenris. Just people like that. Obviously, we got Varric in and Cassandra in Inquisition. But other than that, it was quite empty. I was a bit like, oh, we're definitely going to see Sten. And we didn't. And I was like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. Or we were going to see like Ogren or someone from the Awakening DLC, the Dwarf from the Awakening DLC into the Descent DLC. But we didn't. And it just didn't have that impact on it for me. And I know people want new characters and fresh, and that's all good. But Inquisition had really good fresh characters, but still we want some old ones as well. I know they will give us some old ones, but we can only hope. We can only hope. Right, next one. I imagine everyone should agree with this one. This is origin stories, or a better prologue that is more convincing for each race. So first of all, origin stories were just the creaming cake of Dragon Age Origins. Everyone loved origin stories because it developed your character, it was unique, it felt so special, it was amazing. But for a Dragon Age Inquisition's prologue, personally, as a human noble, it didn't make sense because why would they be able to take a human noble to prison without having to contact my family and having some sort of political debate about it? My character is a human noble. They wouldn't just lock him up and just throw him in a jail cell and say, we're done with you because we don't care. Fair enough if you're an elf, dwarf, or a Kunari, something that they would look down to or fear to. They would lock you up, but my character was a human noble. And yes, I know he's being accused of mass murder, but he would still have some sort of family member on the side as a lawyer. Obviously, they don't exist in the Dragon Age universe. But have someone as a diplomat on his side. But instead, he was locked in a jail cell and accused of everything. I just didn't find that to be believable for my character. But hey ho, what we're going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to get origin stories back. Well, I hope. Better class specializations. The class specializations were good in Inquisition. I enjoyed them, but Origins, we had bring back the old ones. We had the Bard, the Shapeshifter. We had so many awesomes. We had 6 in Dragon Age Origins if you include the Awakening, and we were able to choose 2 specializations if you also included the Awakening DLC. We had so many choices within our specialization of our unique character in Dragon Age Origins, and that has just gone to scrap for Inquisition. We only have 3 of each, and they're good, but I just want the Bard and the Shapeshifter and different types of magic too, like a Water Mage. Just unique specializations that make our character feel a lot more unique and cool within the world. Just bringing back that fresh new magic and just stuff like that. We're going to Tevinter, for goodness sake. We're going to the home of mages. We should be able to like experiment with different magics and stuff like that. So this is one personally for me that I didn't experience in Inquisition. I want Dragon Age to go back to its dark fantasy roots instead of becoming more of a soft and streamlined sort of story. In Origins, it was so dark and so ripe with like dark fantasy. It was amazing. You could go to Redcliffe and you could punch his Connor's mother-in-law in the face, and you could cut Connor's throat, and you could literally walk out and Alistair would have a go at you, or you could do something completely different. But it was just so dark. The game was ripe with choice. And in Inquisition, we don't get any of that. I can't go up to someone and punch their mum and then slit their son's throat. It just wasn't dark enough. And I know they want to become more mature for their audience, or they want to be more streamlined for their audience. But I want to return back to the original dark fantasy, not some more safe plot. I want a dark, gritty plot. Come on. Well, gritty side quests and gritty choices. That's it. For the Inquisitor to be a vital part of the story. So I personally think from the Trespasser DLC, spoilers, that if we don't disband the Inquisition and the Inquisition stays in Skyhold, which is what happens, I think that in Act 3 of Dragon Age 4, Solas, where it will go back to Skyhold, where he awoke and where he started everything, and he will go back and rip open the veil, and everything will go to crap, and the Inquisitor may even die, because Solas is going back to Skyhold. I think if the Inquisition is still in Skyhold, and that happens, that would be amazing, and that would be truly an RPG moment that would truly make us want to hate Solas. Obviously, if the Inquisition isn't inscaled, that obviously could change and your Inquisitor may not die. But still, I think that would be captivating and awesome. I also think the Inquisitor will take a role of Hawk or something like that, because he is going to be, well, she or he is going to have to be in 4, because the plot is based loosely on Dragon Age Inquisition. So I imagine they will have some sort of part in it. My next wish is for some more companion interactions, less forced and more natural. Apparently this is going to be a Mass Effect Andromeda, so we should be expecting that for Dragon Age 4 anyway. If it pans out in Mass Effect Andromeda, it'll pan out in Dragon Age 4. So I imagine that will be good anyway. But yeah, just less forced, because in Inquisition you could literally talk to the same person 3 times after like them approving so often. And you could literally romance them within like 3 cutscenes. It was really unbalanced. So yeah, just more natural, more flowing, more friendships instead of just straight down to it. More impactful choices. Within the original Dragon Age Inquisition demo, we saw the Inquisitor and his squad, or team, or whatever you want to call them, going to a keep, and then they went through a keep to actually go through a village, where the village was under attack. But they ignored the villagers and the pillagers attacking the village, and they went straight to the keep, and they got the keep. But then when they went back to the village was utterly destroyed, and Varric was really disappointed. Why can't we have that in the next game? Why couldn't we have that in Inquisition? Well, we couldn't have it in Inquisition because of the time management and time scale of the game. But why can't we have it in Dragon Age 4? We also saw destructible environments in Dragon Age 4, Dragon Age Inquisition's demo, which we know the Frostbite can easily handle, so why can't we have it? The next one is less samey combat. So this is obviously changed in DLC, but in the base game, the combat did feel a bit samey. If you know, when you went to 75% through the game, the combat would literally be the same. You'd be smashing X and then pressing Y and doing your special mage attacks and then getting your tank to smash and charge, bull them down. It just felt a bit samey at points. So I just prefer more of a fun, more evolved, dynamic combat that Mass Effect Andromeda looks like it's gonna have. But obviously that's a shooter. That's not like some sort of action hack and slash that Dragon Age partially is. Just more of a fleshed out combat is what I'm hoping for. Bigger and better DLC packs. I'm not saying that Trespasser was amazing. Trespasser was amazing, in my opinion. One of my favourite DLCs. Jaws of Hakkon was fun. I enjoyed it. It's about, depending on what difficulty you play on, about 6 to 10 hours, potentially, maybe. A bit longer if you play Nightmare. And then Descent was about 4 hours dungeon, but that was created by Austin's team, not Edmonton's team, so I can understand why that was different. But the DLCs, Trespasser was amazing, but apart from that, they weren't as good as what we expect from BioWare. With Mass Effect, we had 4 DLCs, which were pretty good DLCs and pretty lengthy. They were pretty good for what we got and what we paid for. But we went back to the roots of Awakening and these massive expansions that Dragon Age 4 had so many, and Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Origins, and they had so many massive expansions that we just love to delve into. Why can't we have that in Dragon Age 4? Why couldn't we have that in Dragon Age Inquisition? Just for a return back to the roots of DLC. Better on no multiplayer whatsoever. I thought the multiplayer in Inquisition was okay. I liked the idea of bringing back Isabella as a character to play. That was really fun, and the Bard was really good, and obviously the Ava. The new DLC pack was good, but I was expecting more packs like they did in Mass Effect 3. But we didn't get more packs, which was unfortunate. We got updates of the DLC. We got 3 new characters, and we got the pack, which was free. We only got 6 more characters from launch. I just want more characters, I think for Dragon Age 4, they should probably skip out multiplayer. It depends, because Mass Effect Andromeda is going to have multiplayer, and that works because Mass Effect is a shooter and it's different. But Dragon Age Inquisition, it just didn't work out. It was just didn't feel too good. It felt clunky. It felt not very flowy. Just didn't feel like it was fun. I know what they were going for, dungeon crawling with your friends and just smashing out demons and killing enemies and just being alright fun, and obviously had a mission from the water. But for me, it just didn't work personally. And obviously they tried to add new maps and new characters and new ways to do stuff, but it just didn't work out in my opinion. And I know people personally don't like that anyway. But yeah, my next wish is for better armors and clothing. We're going to Tevinter, so we should be expecting better armors and clothing because it's a different fashion sense. But for Inquisition, I was expecting that from Orlais, and obviously having Ferelden, I was expecting new different types of armor. But we didn't get that many different Orlesian armors and stuff like that. So I want, because in Inquisition it felt a bit like you'd wear your same cloak, and then when you got to Skyhold you'd get a better cloak that's a bit more armored, and then in the last act you'd get a cloak that has has the best armor protection on, and you've got better arm upgrades and better leg upgrades. It just felt like you were wearing the same clothes all the way through, which I guess can be a cool evolution stage of your character, and obviously you're wearing the same gear and it looks the same, and it's cool like that. But it just, after the first playthrough, I just wanted more armors and different ones. They have added a few of the new DLCs. Obviously you got the Dragon Hunter's armor, and you got the Grey Warden armors that you can get for the war table, which were cool. But I just want new fresh armors and clothings and more upgrades, being able to add on belts, belts actually having obviously an aesthetic look to it, instead of just putting it on and you don't actually see it. Just stuff like backpacks for more carry weight, just stuff like that. Just having more of a Bethesda approach to armors, I think would be awesome. And the last wish is for a new, unique, and fresh narrative with the gameplay following. So obviously it's going to be a new Dragon Age. It's going to be fresh. I just want the gameplay to be better, combat to be new and fresh. We should just expect an all-round new Dragon Age game. This one's being made on the Frostbite as well as Inquisition, but it's not going to be held back because of previous generation games. So we should probably expect on par with Mass Effect Andromeda's graphics, which we haven't really had a look at yet, but that's coming in fall. Well, more news and gameplay will be coming out fall. So they'll probably follow the same sort of graphics, but I'm just expecting a better overall story with gameplay, hopefully seeing our Inquisitor, and hopefully having new and some old companions that we can just really, really enjoy. So yeah, that's my wish list for Dragon Age 4. I don't know how long it is. I apologize if this is a very long video, but I'll be happy if you sat through this long. You should pat yourselves on the back. Leave me some feedback and comments of what you want for Dragon Age 4. Any feedback on this video or on myself will be much appreciated. Until then, I have been Jackdaw, and I should go.